How we doing out there, world? How we doing? Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Man, there's always a little bit of adjusting when I have to take equipment, move equipment. That's why I don't like moving equipment. But nevertheless, hey, what's going on, everybody? Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, AKA man of the people. Why? Because you have a friend of the media, which is myself. And today, even though there's so much content out there for the Carolina Panthers and this last day, players talking to media, coaches, general managers, etc., I don't have a pre-arranged agenda. I do have a few things that I'm going to share with you guys. But you know, this show, the day after the game, is always 100% dedicated to the questions that you may have and the interactions with you all. So later on in the week, certainly have many shows that I want to do to go in depth and talk about some things where I have some arranged materials for you guys. But tonight, it's all about you all. It's a day that I got to give back to the support that you guys have given me. And you guys have given me tons and tons of support. So let me be clear about this. And I say be clear because I get a lot of passionate people that support Charlotte Vibe and want to see things grow bigger and better. So the best way that you guys can help me continue to grow and help the world see Charlotte Vibe and what I'm trying to bring to this space about Carolina Panthers content is just like the video every single time. Watch it as long as you can. Time of watch helps. And also leave a comment. You can just say, good job, Chris. Sorry, I like to sit certain. But yeah, those are three things that you can do. You can like the video, watch it as long as you can, and just leave a comment. You can just say good job. And that will help YouTube continue to see that there's engagement on my channel, and they'll continue to try and feed it and show it to other people. So again, thank you guys for the support. It was a wonderful season. Best way to end the season in many, many years, man. 44 points? I forget. It's a lot of points. A lot of overtimes. 4 overtime games we watched this season. But nevertheless, we're going to get into it. And I'm going to start to peek at some of the things that are coming through here. Knucklehead K. Let me see. I think I got all my sound effects back. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Knucklehead K. My members, you know, you get all the special love. My light's a little too bright. Let me turn down my light a little bit. Hold on one second. That's fine if you laugh at me, but I had to get my lighting right. I was looking a little too bright. As Knucklehead said, hit the like button. She's on her way in. All right, Amp for Life, another member. So you gotta give all the love for my members here. My members are the cornerstone of the channel because members pay a monthly fee. I think like $3 or $4 a month, and it helps. Every little bit helps. So Amp for Life, hey fam, I can't be on the line because I'm in every other Monday class, but Bryce calling the OT coin toss correctly has made me a follower. Yes, Bryce did get the OT call correctly. And it was the first OT coin toss we won in 18 years. Wow. First coin toss and OT in 18 years. That is definitely amazing. I'm glad that coach took the ball. I don't know if there's any other way to do it, right? But he took the ball and yeah, we won, man. It was great. It was great being there and seeing that take place yesterday. Zeke, what's going on with you? Appreciate you tuning in. KPM, still need a Sir Per interview. Why do you need a Sir Per interview? A Sir Per interview would be a lot of like this right here. He doesn't talk. He's a mascot. But good to see you, KPM. Thank you for tuning in. Ty says the future is bright, which it is. So as you all know, the show gives precedence, gives favor to those who call in. Uh-oh, that is not even what I want to drink. I'm so busy trying to stay hydrated. I got 2 drinks, and I meant to drink something else, and I grabbed, you know what it's like when you think you're about to drink one thing, and then you taste another? Yeah, that just happened. But links in the description. That is what I want to drink. For you guys to call in, whether you're on the phone, whether you're on a computer, Doesn't matter. Anything that has the internet connection and a camera will allow you to come on the show. So I am going to bring. I think this is basically a tradition, man. That Thomas Frisbee is always our first caller of the night. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. I don't know. Should we make it a tradition? But nevertheless, let's go ahead and bring in our first caller of the night,
You
Thomas.
know what? Might as well be a tradition. I mean, you know, I get ready for bed after a while, so I mean, yeah, it's pretty much a tradition. So let's just keep that one going. Then I mean, I'm
so,
good with that, Chris.
so you come in at the front part. Let's go ahead and talk about it, man. What's going on? How you feeling?
God, what a game! That was a great game. I mean, the thing is, I kept seeing some people going, maybe they should just lose it. You know, draft position, draft position. I'm like, no, I'm tired of it. I had this discussion with a couple of teachers I work with earlier, and I was like, no, I don't care. They still got a top 10 pick. I don't care. You know, I'm tired of drafting for let's suck for a draft pick that may not pan out. So it's good because now they can go and build some momentum with Bryce and get everybody back healthy. Add maybe a perimeter person on the outside because I have a feeling Thielen will be back. He likes being here. I think he wants to be that veteran presence that can hope turn it around. I my one weariness is the defense. I saw that as of 7:10 that Avero's coming back. I I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's like, okay, I get it. You had nothing to work with and gave up, God, what was it? Oh,
A
God, what was it
lot.
550, 60,000 points or something like that? Might as well be 1,000 at this point. But I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you, because for the fact it's like, but I get it that he did decent. But as I saw a comment earlier, it's like, yeah, all those players he had, like when it came to Jeremy Chin and Burns and Gross Montero, whatever his last name,
Gross
YGM, we'll
Matos.
just call it that. Yeah, and a few other and Luvu,
Uh huh.
they left. They left. So that makes me wonder: did they not like playing in his that system? So there's a lot of questions going into the offseason. But we went from 2 to 5, and I don't want to say playoffs next year. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I'm one of those. I'm on a realist. So if we can go from 5 to 7 or 8, because honestly, I feel like the division, if you can get 9, 10 wins, it's doable. But I don't want to put that quite yet because I've gone in every season being cautiously optimistic. So, but no, it's a good win, and I liked seeing Bryce's confidence that he's not even looking to see if it's going to be a touchdown or not, and he gives a smirk. I think Bryce has found his mojo, and it's great to see that watching him in front of our eyes develop into the quarterback that we were all hoping he would be, and that Canales and everybody else was patient. I think I think we found it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And thanks so much for your call. Hopefully you have a good
Mhm.
evening, and I'll see you some more.
All right, you have a good night, Chris.
All right, take care. All right, so that was my man Thomas, and we got our traditional second person. I think it's a race between these two, whoever calls in first. But let me first give some comments on Thomas's call in, which, again, Thomas, I appreciate you calling in. Very consistent call in, and I really love it. Excuse me. And I hope more of you will call in. We're going to continue to do what we do. By the way, this is miscellaneous information. So I plan to go to the draft, or to the combine, I should say, not to the draft. And I was checking my ticket prices, and I don't know if like American Airlines got in on the Carolina Panthers are winning, so everybody's going to go up there, and everybody like it is open to the. Anyway, what I'm all going to say is the tickets, just the airline ticket was $700 to fly to Indianapolis. Are you kidding me? American, come on. Let's not price gouge here. Let's slow it down. But a few things that Thomas spoke on that I want to touch on before I get into the next caller is Adam Thielen, whether or not he comes back. And so Adam Thielen today in the locker room, speaking with the media, said, I don't know if I'm coming back. I may retire. I just, but he also gave context of saying this is part of now what he does at this point in his career. At the end of each season, he contemplates everything: coming back, retirement, how good his team is that he'd be going to, lots of different things. So he's contemplating that. Man, personal feelings again, and I always like to say when it's all Chris and not something of information. Adam likes playing, man, and he had a good season. I don't know what his total was. I could probably look that up super quick while we're here. And I had another person to call in. It says Knight is their name, but Knight, I don't see your camera being on. So without a camera, I can't bring you on. So please try to check that. And as long as you can get your camera working, then you can come on. Adam Thielen had 615 yards this year. How many yards did he have last season? And I see Shaked he's anxious to get on. You're coming, man. I got to finish talking about Thomas's points. I promise you. Adam Thielen last season. How do I quickly see this so I don't have you guys on here forever? All right, I'm just going to have to come back to this. Oh, no. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. So Adam Thielen, yeah, last year he was a 1,000-yard guy, 1,014. But he also played 7 games less. So, and he had a lot higher average, had more TDs, had a longer long. So, yeah, I feel good about Adam Thielen coming back. All right, so since I got guys in the queue, let me rush through responding to some other things regarding Thomas's call, the previous caller. Actually, I'm going to skip one. He talked about Ivero coming back, so I know Shaqued's going to talk about that. So I'll pause to come back to that. Shaqued, I'm going to warn you. Not warn you. You can handle your 2 minutes however you want to. I got a feeling you're going to use 1 minute and 55 seconds talking about Ivero. It's up to you. And Thomas talked about the guys who left, like Luvu, Jeremy Chin, some other guys. I don't think any of those guys left because they didn't like Ivero. Let's just continue to be honest about it. If you were on a team and you finished the season 2-15, you got shut out in 2 consecutive games, and another team wanted you and they were going to pay you a good amount of money, I can't tell you that I wouldn't be like, well, Carolina, it was nice, but I'm going to go over here, still get some more money, and still be on a team that's probably going to win more games than you. And yeah, everybody but Burns maybe got on the better team. And even if Burns didn't get on the better team, he got the money that he wanted. Not to say that that's everything, but it's a little bit of a compensation, right? And then lastly, and not Thomas, but Shaked, I'm going to bring you up next, is the Bryce Young pass. That was a touchdown in which he looked away. It was great, but I just want to give myself a little pat on the back, right? Because Charlotte Vibe was the very first outlet to show you a clip of Bryce Young in practice last August in Spartanburg, throwing passes and looking away. So, hey, he practices how he plays. Check the video out. It's on Twitter. I think I retweeted it yesterday. It's crazy. It's like over 1.5 million views because a lot of Panther fans and Bears fans use that to have a feud all the time. But nevertheless, he's waited long enough. Let me bring him on. Sorry that, I like to give a comment to everybody. Shaked, how you doing today?
Doing good, feeling optimistic and not optimistic.
All right,
Not optimistic, I'm disappointed that Dave Canales, Dan Morgan, the Panthers denied Charlotte Vibe request to interview Shero Overo for full-time co-host. So I'm disappointed. Now, on a serious note, here's my issue about Overo. I look at the Lions, Chris. Lions played with backup players. The backup players. And look at what they did last night to Sam Darnold, and look what they did throughout the season. So there's excuse that the Vero had backup players, and because of that, the defense was bad. That is a bunch of baloney. Also, we should mention some of the free agent that the Panthers got. Evero recommends them. Nick Scott, Jordan Fuller. Were they great players? Nah, they won't be back. So Evero is getting too much love from Canales and Morgan. I wonder what secret he has. Who knows? but the scheme has to be changed because 2023 they couldn't stop the run. So yesterday in all of the season against putting the best player on defense, cornerback against the best wide receiver, they put second and third cornerback, and I understand they dealt with injuries, but nonetheless, you put your best available player against the best offensive player. So that is the negative part. The positive part, we have a franchise starting quarterback. Also, Shaked Nostradamus was right when I said on your show, Chris, the night before the Saints game, this team going to resemble the 2022 Lions team. Dave Canales is the next. Then Campbell, not Carson wise, but you can see the energy. Both coaches have tremendous energy. And next season is playoff or bust. The NFC South is a joke. If they can make as great of improvement in defense as they did on offense, if they stay healthy, of course, they can win 10 games next season. If they don't make the playoff, Dave Canales, Dan Morgan will be on the hot seat heading into 2026 season.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate
it's
you. Oh, go ahead.
sure.
I'll let you finish
So
out.
sure. So it's exciting. We finally have our franchise quarterback. Now let's address the defense. Charlotte Vibe will make a great offer in Aya Overa.
Great talking to you, man. You have a good evening. I'm going to go ahead and comment on your call. Thank you so much. That was pretty
Thanks.
good.
Thanks.
All right, so we got Knight in the green room. So, Knight, I'm going to bring you on in just a second. Hey, I love you guys calling in. Sincerely do. I think everybody's getting used to the call-in shows now. So, we'll continue doing some in the off season as well. And this week, I'm going to do plenty more shows where I'm going to go into depth at a lot of stuff that's been going on because there was so much news regarding this team and so many developing stories that will be coming out regarding this team. He's been critical of Evero, and certainly I say Evero absolutely deserves a lot of the critical nature of commentary right now, right? As he spoke about this team allowed, I think Thomas talked about it, a zillion points. I forget what the point total was, but it was certainly over 500 points. Lots of points. I didn't check, but they probably allowed over 500 yards yesterday in that game against the Falcons. I think they did because I know Penix had over 300, and their Bijan and those guys had, I think, about 200. So it's awful, and I think that you gotta. What I said yesterday is that with Evero, he may be coming back. That's what I felt yesterday. And so today it has been announced that he will be coming back. I think a big part of that is still there's going to be a sit down and there's going to be a little come to Jesus and say, hey, Evero, we really like you. We feel like you're the guy for the job. And we're going to try to give you some more pieces to the puzzle. But you still have to come up with some more ideas on how this team can thrive, whether or not you're getting the resources that you would love to have. Because any coach could flourish under having, okay, not any. Most coaches can flourish under having great, exceptional talent. But in my opinion, a great coach can still coach when you don't have the good pieces. My man, Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I may not get this exactly right, so forgive me, but he said that he loves, and I know I'm not going to get this right, but Mike Tomlin said something like he loves when he hears a coach talks about a guy isn't good or a guy doesn't pay attention or a guy's lazy, because that means that coach didn't want to take the challenge and do what they have to do to make that player great. And he doesn't mind putting in that effort to make players great. That other coaches may say, oh, this guy's this or this guy's that. Again, I'm sure I did not get that exactly right, but it's still basically the challenge of a good coach is taking any lemon and making it lemonade. Anyway, let me get to my man Knight, who's been patiently waiting. Again, Shaked, thank you for calling in. Evero will be back. I'm assuming they're having their come to Jesus moments about that right now to make sure that he understands what may change. And yeah, there's a lot to look forward to with this team. And let's go ahead and bring on my man Knight, who patiently waited. Uh-oh.
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
Can you see me?
I can see you.
Good,
Appreciate
bro.
you.
All right. So what
I
I've
was
been looking forward to was seeing that Bryce Young's encouragement that he's been getting from his teammates. Like just seeing Thielen on that sideline, bro. I'm just happy that our team is commemorating our first round pick. As the media, it's like they're gonna always tear down on people. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, yeah,
What's your name? Is your name Knight?
yeah, yeah. This is my
Okay.
dog right here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can't quite see the dog,
Mm-hmm.
but I do see something moving around. What's the dog's name?
Mm-hmm. Astro, yeah. But like the thing is, I'm kind of concerned on the defense because we've allowed basically 40 points 2 games in a row, and if you think about it, how many games have we allowed 40 points? Like our secondary. I'm not, I'm
I,
not trying to hate on people, but like I think that we can be coached better in a 4-3 scheme, but at the end of the day, they know what they're supposed to be doing, and they're in the certain positions to do what they need to do. So I just have faith, time, and drafting and free agency will improve our defense. What are your thoughts?
well, I like to give you. I'm going to comment on everything. I just want to make sure that I got all of your comments out there first.
Hmm.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
those are my comments.
All right. So what I do is I go ahead and hang up at this point, and thank you for calling. And hey, it was a pleasure that you called in, and hopefully you'll call back in again. All right. I'm going to go ahead and touch on everything you just talked about. That was cool, man. I did not expect a young person to call in, but it is free for everybody to call in. So I was a little like tickled that he was calling in, and he had some good things to say. So awesome. Let me give him a round of applause, Mr. Knight, for calling in. Good job. I love it when the young people know so much about football, and that's one of the great things about covering football and why I chose to do it. It's such a transcending sport to cover. You have all ages, all races, all kinds of things. That's really cool. But let me go ahead and talking about what this young man was talking about. He loved seeing Bryce Young look encouraged, our number one overall pick from last year, having a good time out there. And we all love it. We all love it. It's great to see because you didn't see it. I mean, who does not remember? And if you don't, Bryce Young on his way to practice, and a guy asked for an autograph, and it was shortly after the benching, and Bryce was like, still just looking bummed, but he went over there. The guy's like, hey, I don't know, said some encouraging words to Bryce, and Bryce was like, thanks, signed this autograph and back, and it's like, I feel like if you had any kind of heart, it's just like, oh man, like Bryce, oh Bryce, we want you back. And to now see Bryce playing with such enthusiasm, dancing after a play, looking away after throwing a pass and all that stuff, it is encouraging. And uh, I think we got a good Bryce now, as in the Bryce that we drafted. Adam Thielen being on the sidelines, certainly hope he comes back. That guy is, to me, one of the biggest dogs on this team. Now, he's not off the field, he's not saying much craziness and giving you big quotes, but you can see when Adam Thielen is on that football field, he plays like a terror. Like he will chew somebody out, he will talk to somebody. He loves every aspect of football. And we have some young guys. You take him out, and then you have nothing but an extremely young group of wide receivers. And there's nothing wrong with young wide receivers, but it's nothing better than giving them a veteran to learn from, to hide the fire, to show the routines, to give them the tips, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully that, Adam will take his 2 weeks off that I think he says he takes and then comes back. The points, my man said 40 points. Yesterday was close. It was 38, didn't quite get to 40, but I believe we allowed over 40 points. I want to say 3 times off the top of my head. I want to say that was the New Orleans Saints game that happened for sure, because I know they almost put up 50. Jaden Daniels Commanders, they put up a ton. And then was it last week against the Bucks? They put up 40 something. So Those are the ones off the top of my head that come to mind about putting up 40 points against the Panthers, and it's bad. The defense, 3-4-4-3. I think no matter what, you can play better defense than we played, no matter what scheme you're in. If you get guys that don't know what they're doing, that aren't tackling, that just aren't staying disciplined in the game of football, you're not going to get good results no matter what. And so I feel like some better things need to happen. The exact, I don't know what I want to say yet in terms of the exact, because I need to take some time and really just kind of not emotionally talk about the game, but analytically talk about the game and the defense. And right now my mind's not there yet, but yeah, very good call. Appreciate you calling in, Mr. Knight, and hope that you will call in again sometime in the future. Give me just 1 second, you guys, to make sure that I got everything together. All right, so those are all of my calls. We'd love to have some more calls. We got about up to 30 more minutes that we can have the show. And if you do want to call, I'm going to actually put this link out there so everybody can see it on all the different channels. So give me just a second to get this, and I'm going to put this out there. Let's see, call in link. So I just put this back in the comments so people on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube can see that link. Would love to hear from you guys. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and get back into the comments. See what we got here. And for life, I need Eddie Pinheiro to come back so I can rock his and Coca jerseys next year and get them signed at training camp. Let's hope the front office realizes they will not find a kicker better than Eddie Pinheiro. All right, so Eddie Pinheiro did speak with the media today. I don't know if Eddie's coming back. I have felt like it's a big decision between Eddie and the money that he wants, and then the team having confidence that Eddie's going to perform at the dollar value that he wants. So it's a two-sided thing here. It's not just one or the other, right? And Eddie said something to the fact that the team needs to see what they're wanting to do, and then he's going to kind of find out what happens from there. I mean, of course, you could always kind of say the team is in that position to say, hey, do we want this guy back? They got a lot of guys to figure out. And again, I'm going to have a show later this week. We got, I think, 21 free agents. And some people sign futures contracts, et cetera. We'll get into that in a little bit later this week. So I think it's tough for Eddie to come back. Because one thing is, he kind of held out last year, not coming to anything that was voluntary, coming at the last minute, making the team have the thicker kicker out there to help them through the parts where they needed a kicker. And he came back and he had a good season, and then he started missing. And he's missed quite a few when he started missing. So is he Mr. Automatic? No. And I think it's just going to be a matter of them looking at, and I'm sure they already have a good idea now, who's available, who's about to become a free agent, and who can be had in the draft, and then just evaluating everything. Now, I don't know all of that information to give you guys a good educated guess about where things stand, other than saying I feel like it's going to be some decisions. It's not already they know what they're going to do with Eddie Pinheiro, and I feel like it's some coming together that needs to be done for that deal to be working. Christopher Walden, thank you very much for the praise. I appreciate it very much, you guys. And your praise always gives me energy to keep doing what I do. Always. And I need that energy, so keep it coming. Rails, what's good? Chris, man of the people. Rails, appreciate you tuning in. Great to see you. Great to hear from you. Queen's Yarn Boutique, a member. You know, our members get a lot of love. Queen's Yarn Boutique. I was so happy to hear Coach finally say that Bryce is our quarterback. Do you think that Dalton will be here next year? So, do I think Andy Dalton will be here next year? I feel like he should be here next year. You know, all these guys want to win. So Andy said that when he had the opportunity to be the starting quarterback, like it was great. He was excited about it. I feel like it's good to have Bryce with maybe one more year of having a veteran quarterback to back him up, such as Andy. So I feel good about Andy coming back, to answer that question. Will he? I don't know, but I feel good about Andy coming back. Ali Bodrick, you get all the sound effects. Ali, welcome back. Appreciate you being a member. Appreciate your support. Again, you guys' support has been needed and very, very welcome this year. Fantastic job, says Carolyn Chambliss. Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, look at this. We got Renee Hillman joining the broadcast to say some encouraging words. Appreciate it. I'm glad the Panthers won. I was rooting for them. We need all the rooting that we can get. And yeah, we won. We won in overtime. Our young quarterback looked good. We have a future that we can start to look forward to and definitely have an off season that we haven't been able to have in a long time, where we have some crucial pieces that are in place that have been doing well. I got to add that because Matt Rule coached more than 1 year, and that is returning. Dan Morgan, our general manager, Dave Canales, our head coach, Bryce Young, our quarterback. So we got some good pieces in place for the future, and yes, it'd be great for that to continue to be the case. What's going on, Boss Kingman? Tuning in. G. Martin, since they are retaining Evero, do you think the position coaches will also be retained? I'm assuming you're talking about the defensive coaches being retained, since we're talking about Evero there with your comment. Here's what I feel and why I feel. Heck yes, some of those defensive coaches will be gone, because you can't keep the defensive coordinator and then keep all the defensive coaches in the midst of having historically one of the worst defenses in NFL history. Like, you cannot, I don't know how David Tepper could sit there and be like, oh, so you're keeping Evero? You're keeping him? Okay, we're keeping everybody on the defensive side. Yeah, sure, I'll continue to write the checks. Goodbye, click. No, I don't see how you could do that. That would be insanity. I mean, all these guys, Evero, Canales, and Dan Morgan have all said today that this defense needs some work. This defense was not work. They have not complimented the defense. So how could you not make some changes somewhere? You either start at the very top, which they said today they're not going to do, or you cut all the other pieces. So yes, look for some pieces beneath Evero to be relieved of their duties. Good comment. Everybody was patiently waiting for Shaqued's Evero banter, and they said you did not disappoint, Shaked. So good job of giving the people what they want. What's going on, Forest City Kitty? Keep pounding. I sure will. As I've mentioned, I will have many more shows this week, next week, continuing on through the combine. As long as somebody say a prayer for me and these tickets to go to the combine, $700. What are they do? If anybody out there has a buddy pass that they want to put me on just for that trip to Indianapolis, I will gladly take it, because the only place I flew to this year that cost more than $700 was Germany. Every other place I flew to was nowhere near that. The only other place that ended up being expensive was Las Vegas. And at this point, I forget how much that was, probably because I didn't like paying. It might have been like $4 something to go to Vegas. But $700 to fly to Indianapolis, Indiana in the wintertime? Nah, y'all trying to get people. All right, we got somebody that's disagreeing here. Let me read this. Elijah Horton. Elijah, I disagree pretty strongly on the Evero hate. This team was a bottom 10 defensive roster before the injuries, and all our so-called stars ended up on IR early. So, Elijah, we can agree to disagree. All right, my doors in my house is closing. I guess that means that the heat just kicked on. So, okay, that's boy got distracted there for a second. So, I'm a person that has been given grace to Evero, and I still do so. I'm not irate and pulling my hair out that he's coming back. I'm okay with it, but as long as there's conversations had to say, hey man, this was pretty bad. Like, I know you didn't have everything that you want, but to be the worst, to be like, you don't have. Think about this for me, Elijah. I want you to think about this, okay? And hopefully your comment to come back pretty closely. So if Evero is a guy that's good and knows what he's doing and got these kind of results, do you not think that you could have picked almost any guy off the street and said, hey, run this Carolina Panthers defense? How much worse could they have done when you allow so many points, so many rushing yards? It was literally like the only way to win was winning a track meet. We were not going to win a competitive 20-20 kind of game with the personnel that we had. Yes, but you got to figure some things out. So think about that, Elijah. How much worse could anybody else have done? And if everybody could do the same level that he did, then he's not good. Because you got to be good with bad things to really be good. Appreciate your comment, though, Elijah. Hopefully, I'll hear back from you before we get off of here. And Shaq looks like he's been loading you up with some responses. But again, I'll be curious to hear how you respond. Oh my goodness, man! I gotta call this guy right here. I actually thought, Cortland, I don't know if you're still watching, man, but I thought about you, man, strongly within the past couple of days, because and I could tell you offline about why. But man, good to hear from you. Hope life is going well. Great content, Chris. Always doing a good job covering the team. Thank you so much, Cortland. Thank you so much, Cortland. Thank you so much, Cortland. little personal friend there. So I'm going to spare you guys from having the conversation, but I appreciate him tuning in. Jaquette said Andy might retire. He's almost 39. He could. Oh, don't say this, don't say this, don't say this. He says, Chris, get ready for at least 2 late primetime Panther games in 2025. Very late post-game show. Oh, my goodness. That is the least favorite part of my job. I know you guys enjoy the behind the scenes. I love bringing it to you, talking about life as a media member, et cetera, et cetera. If you watched last night, you would have saw my post-game show. I don't know why, but Atlanta was the first stadium this year in which they didn't cut off all the lights, but they cut off all the lights, right? And I was like, this isn't even super late. And and I laugh and share that because primetime games are the worst. Think about them as a viewer, right? Leave a comment. We're going to be interactive here for a minute. How many times do you watch a primetime Monday night, Thursday night football game to the very end? How many times do you watch it to the very end? I'm going to bet the answer is very few, especially if you're on the East Coast. Now, the West Coast may be a little different. But how many times do you... And here's what happens. So the primetime games will end about 11 something, right? So I'm literally doing my post-game show at about midnight or later until about 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm leaving the football stadium at about 2 o'clock in the morning to then maybe go back to my hotel if it's an away game or to come home if it's a home game. And it's brutal because the next morning things still go with coaches and player follow-ups early. And yeah, so if it happens, your boy will continue to earn this title, Man of the People, and grind it out. I just hope that you guys continue to watch, to continue to support, continue to tell a friend so that we can continue to grow. That's my only ask. Here we go. We might we might have to create. All right, Knucklehead K. So we may have to create another level to our membership. We only have one level right now, and I did that on purpose for the first year. Just wanted to get everybody involved. But we might have to increase the levels for those that are able to and willing to and enjoying the channel enough that they want to be a higher tier member, such as my girl Knucklehead K here, because she supports, not to say that you guys don't, but I just want to highlight the support that she gives consistently out there driving around in the truck in the rain and still finding some kind of way to be over there bouncing, riding that truck and get some love to Charlotte vibes. So she said, driving in the rain and it's cold enough for it to freeze. Won't be calling in tonight. Like, subscribe, become a member. Hope all is well. Thank you very much. And then goes on to say, I'm excited for next year. Seems as though our offense is getting better. Defense has good potential. The potential just happens to be rookies. So, yeah, there is some good potential. This draft class by Dan Morgan, in my opinion, was really, really good. All these guys played, pretty good roles in this team this year, except for Jade. I'd probably say Jaden Crumedy was the only one that didn't play what I would feel like is a significant role. He played some roles. He also had an injury at the early part of the season. But the rookies, the future for this team is very promising because of the fact that it is so young. And that means we have a lot of money to be spent in other places. And we have a lot of talent that we can grow and have here for, another 3 or 4 years. So that's a promising thing, especially if Bryce Young continues to be as he has. So I'm excited about that. Victory Monday. Yes, it is Victory Monday. I have a Victory Monday shirt that I used to sell. But yes, it is Victory Monday. And she said, no, I pulled over for a second. Gotta be safe. Okay. And she pulled over the rig. And you pulled over the 8. Oh, you guys probably can't hear me well. My bad. You guys probably started not hearing me well because I took off my phone. So sorry, but and she pulled over the 18-wheeler to show the support. Appreciate you, Knucklehead. Appreciate you. Hey, if you got a route that's going to take you through Indianapolis, I may have to be a stowaway on your vehicle. I may have to be a stowaway because those prices to fly there are just crazy. Hey, before we get out here, let's go ahead and I do have some information that I need to get out there and share with you guys if you have not already seen it. The Carolina Panthers 2025 opponent. So, for the home games, you will see your normal NFC South opponents. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Atlanta Falcons, New Orleans Saints. And then you will see a lot of NFC West. You will see the Los Angeles Chargers. You will see the Seattle Seahawks. You will see the Buffalo Bills, a.k.a. Carolina North. You will see the Miami Dolphins, maybe with or without Tyreek Hill. And once again, you will see the Dallas Cowboys. How about that? The Dallas Cowboys? I don't know what I'm doing here. Sorry about that. The Dallas Cowboys, I feel like have been to Charlotte 3 out of the past 4 years. I could be wrong. They've definitely been here 2 years in a row. So that's going to be 3 years in a row that we play the Dallas Cowboys. Wow. Dallas Cowboys, 3 years in a row. Anyway, wrong graphic. Let's get back up to the right graphic here. All right, so away games. So, with the new schedule, we play, you alternate years between 8 home games and 9 home games. Conversely, you're going to have between 8 away games and 9 away games. This year was our year to have 9 home games, but one of those home games was a game in Germany. Next year, we will have the same thing, essentially 8 home games, 9 away games. You got your, oh, my bad, I did say Chargers. Whoops, Rams. That's why I need you guys on here so you can correct me. I said LA Chargers. That is the LA Rams that we will be playing next year. Thank you so much, Shaq, for pointing that out. So NFC South opponents away, and then we travel to Arizona Cardinals. I've never been there. That's one of the few stadiums I have not been to, so I will absolutely be going to that one. San Francisco 49ers, great stadium, great city. New England Patriots, the New York Jets, which I feel like we go to way too many. Just like the Cowboys coming here a lot recently, I feel like I have been to the Jets stadium, whether it's the Jets or the Giants. And I feel like it's mostly, I don't know which team has been more of, but man, been there. And I don't like going to that stadium from a logistical standpoint. Like, it is not fun. Anyway, you guys aren't here to hear my rants. Jets, the Green Bay Packers. You guys aren't here to hear my rants. I don't know if I'm going to the Green Bay game because I am traumatized from the last time that I went there and we all got snowed in. Not because it was such bad snow in Green Bay, but it was bad snow all around that area, so it was delaying planes from getting there. And then we had the Jacksonville Jaguars, which, man, I wish they had their new stadium built. Not built yet, but coming soon. And as we round third base here, talking about some things, did you guys comment on football? So here, let me go back to this. So I posed a question about, do you watch primetime games to the end? And we got some responses. Give me a second here. And if you hadn't responded, and you have a response, let me know. Do you watch primetime games to the end? All right. So Queen's Yarn Boutique says, I'm usually asleep by the fourth quarter on Thursday Night Football. Okay, so that's a no. I had an accent. All right, Gary, what did I say? I'll tell you guys, traveling to all these games this year has been great, but it also has sometimes made me feel like, where am I? What am I doing? So that part of my blunders that you now see sometimes will come from that just feeling like, where am I? What am I doing? West Coast is peak for watching NFL. Man, you're not gonna lie. I think the best place is the Central Standard Time Zone. So West Coast, I think, is good, but it's a little bit early. I feel like if you're in that Central Time Zone where the games start at 12 o'clock, that's not too bad. Or maybe if they start at 11, but starting at 10 is pretty early. But yeah, the East Coast is definitely not the best place to be watching football. As overall, if you want to watch games from start to finish. All right, so we got some fighting going on there in the comments. Let's continue to bask in the beauty of Bryce Young. Let's just sit back and let this marinate, and let's just give him some. Oh, that is not the sound effect we wanted to do there. Anyway, this is Bryce Young's pass chart from an historically do your thing, boy. We done found our guy. Ain't that something? Look at him dance. Look at that smile. Look at the look away performance of Bryce Young taking his team to a team tying record 5 total touchdowns that he was responsible for. Man, I thought he was going to get 6. He was so close to getting 6. 3 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown rushes. Look at this. Touchdown passes. This just makes you want to just, give my man a hug, right? There were games where Bryce Young would not even throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field. He had a touchdown of basically about a 20 and 25 yards yesterday. Threw the ball 25 yards down the field, 20. Threw it to the left, threw it to the right. This pass chart right here really epitomizes the growth that not only Bryce Young has, but the growth of Dave Canales. So Dave Canales has been forward in saying that essentially his confidence in Bryce has now increased to the point where he feels like he can call anything that he's wanting to call based on the situation that he's facing and not say, okay, I'm facing this, I want to do this, but my quarterback is limited to me just trying this. And so that's what this chart right here is a reflection of. It's not just Bryce, it's Bryce and Dave, because Bryce is running the plays that Dave is calling. And Dave is obviously giving Bryce the opportunity to spread the ball around the field and down the field. And the thing that I like the most about Bryce Young right now that we're seeing is that he's also giving Bryce the opportunity to not just stand back there in the pocket. Bryce has many plays where he has movement out of that pocket, and that's allowing him to do things and be creative and sometimes run the ball. He ran the ball 5 times yesterday and scored on almost half of them too. So he's not looking to just run, but he's looking to find different lanes and keep throw guys open, which he has done and will continue to do. So I want to end the show again with just this preview of this chart here. I didn't go back and get, I might do that right now. Let me go back and see if I can get a chart from like the first game of the season. So stay tuned. We're gonna try to do some work real quick and bring you Bryce Young's passing chart from week 1. This may make you cry if you're a Panther fan. Let's go to week 2 because that week 1 looks kind of weird. 1 second. It's kind of weird how they're showing this graphic, but I'm going to go ahead and share it with you guys anyway. Weird because they don't have like the little, I don't know what to call it. But hold on, I'll show you the passing chart from week 2. Going to be cut off on the screen a little bit, but you'll be able to see it. That was week 2 this year, 18 of 26, 84 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns. Now, you see that? 18 of 26 for 84 yards, 1 interception. And this is yesterday. Look at that. Three TDs, no interceptions. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Hey, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for your support. Tonight's show was the Let's Talk About It show, which is, again, not a lot of content that I have predetermined for you guys to share. It's mostly for me to sit back and answer all your questions, be interactive, get to meet with you all. A little bit of an informal conversation, so I hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope that you'll consider liking the video and subscribing. The rest of the week, we're going to get back to our structured type of show where I have a lot of prepared content that I want to share with you guys. And, certainly answer questions at the end of the video should there be time allowed for it. I know I want to talk about, so many things, the free agents, the draft, some more evaluations of coaches and players, and lots of other storylines that are going to be developing. So those will be coming. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you enjoy your Monday night. Chris Jenkins reporting for Charlotte Vibe.